Hey, Soul Warriors, are you feeling like you're stuck in a holding pattern? Let's track this month's energetic forecast so you know the frequencies shaping your path and how to navigate them with grace. The month of July energy update. It is all about patience and presence.
I don't like it.
I don't like it either. After stepping into the portal and doing the inspired actions and all the things we've been called to do the last few months, it's like, haven't we arrived yet? Like, come on now.
Exactly.
That's what it feels like to me anyway. If you've been doing the things, you'll have one really interesting experience right now. If you haven't been doing the things, you're going to have a totally less pleasant experience right now.
Yeah,
So,
with that, if you're sitting in resistance, of course, that's going to be a problem.
yeah. So, I mean, just take what we tell you that resonates with you and just discern the rest,
Yep.
because this is a little bit for everybody depending on where you're at in this journey. So this is a huge time of change, and what's happening, why it feels so kind of like willy-nilly is what's coming to me. I don't use that word. So it's feeling so willy-nilly is because you are letting go of the old parts of you that no longer serve you and stepping into the new you. We've heard this many times over and over again, but it keeps feeling like we're falling back into old patterns and then remembering who we are again and stepping back into that. And sometimes we're being shoved back into old patterns or old parts of ourselves. And that's one, so you can see how far you've actually come. Because I think that we get lost in the sauce, that we're doing all this stuff and we're expecting a certain like vision of an outcome. So we're not seeing all the little things that are going on.
You were doing that program, that group program, and they had asked you about soul intentions, and they said to do a goal and all that stuff, to tell them about the goal. And then the person asked you, are you already living some of it?
And I was already living like 90% of what my end vision was. But since it wasn't 100%, like location was different.
Yeah. And that's the thing that we have, that we don't necessarily become aware that we're already living the life that we're looking to create, that we're already doing the things we think we still need to achieve. We're already there. So that's the holding pattern thing that comes into play.
Right. If you stop and look at it, because it's more of a sense and more of a feeling, because the visual vision of what I was calling in is actually, it's rooted in a sense of feeling of more freedom and more fun and more happiness. And when I break down all of those things, I have more and more of that every single day, and a plenty of that compared to like where I was this time last year.
Right.
So really check into that sense feeling and check into what's already there for you, so you can lean more into that, because that's what starts to tip you over the edge.
Yeah, and I think that also in July, I'm getting that vibe where there's a lot of, first of all, focused energy on the 4th of July. That comes into play. So the energies are amplified in such a way that when you're doing something, building something, you're tapping into that very focused energy. So the ability for things to happen quicker, you're manifesting so quickly, yet feeling like you're in a holding cell, if you will, and nothing is making sense, but you're actually right on point. I keep it in the forefront, because otherwise it'll trip you. It'll really, really trip you. Because I know that for me, when I sat with the energies, or as it's flowing right now, it feels like still waters, and at the same time, the current underneath it is really, really fast. I mean, I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's what it's feeling like to me. And I know that for myself personally, I've been in that holding self feeling and not liking it at all, but also knowing that things are moving.
Right.
And it's an interesting, it's hard to put into words, if you will.
No, you put it perfectly into words. And if you're not in the States, 4th of July is our Independence Day. So it's very celebratory. It's summertime. So people are out, gathering and having parties and, very celebratory energy. So that goes into that whole feeling thing. So anywhere you are in the world, you can tap into this focus, celebration, fun, independence. It's about freedom. That's the energy that's riding out there that you can utilize in your work.
Right.
If you haven't been doing the work, you might be feeling like you're getting to the point where you're getting sick of your own bullshit. Because everything is starting to slap you in the face, like all the stuff that you've been ignoring and suppressing and running away from. It's coming up, and it's coming up fast and furious, and it's just in your face constantly. And you're like, I'm just done. I'm tired. I don't want to run anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, it's catching up to you. It's saying you're not going to ignore me anymore. I'm here, and you got to do something about it.
Yep. So it's totally up to you if, however much work you've done or you're doing right now, if you're going to continue to sit in that holding pattern until that current has moved enough of the old stuff out for your new stuff to come in. Or it can look like a total shit show if you so choose to remain in resistance and not taking advantage of the stillness where you can really get centered in you. Because once the total current, like all the water starts moving really fast, you're either going to get swept under or it's going to carry you along to right where you want to go.
If you had chosen not to do the work and this is where you're landed, also be present for that, because there's a lesson there. There's something for you to shift, grow from, definitely change up, if you will. So, let's stop making those dumpster fires.
Yeah. And I mean, and it's not too late. That's another thing. Like you might feel like, oh, look, they're peaceful and they're happy and they're this, and I'm still but it's not too late. It's actually the perfect time with this big celebratory free energy coming in. It can actually help you blast through a lot of these things quicker.
Yeah, because happy energy is good energy.
Mm-hmm.
And right now here in the States, people are going to be in that celebratory, happy, hanging out with their friends and being with family and doing all sorts of fun things. So the energy, the vibration is really super high. So manifesting what you want, or also tapping into the things that still need work, is going to be amplified.
Exactly. Because whenever you get into deep, hard stuff and you marry that with happiness, freedom, higher vibrations, it's a smoother ride.
Yeah.
Another thing that I got, the other thing for July was they put it out to me as follow the bouncing ball. And I wasn't really getting it until they made my next few days all about that. And usually it would throw me off, but I was like, okay, I get what you're saying. So following the bouncing ball is like following those spiritual breadcrumbs, following those signs, following, the higher frequency, the happier energy, and really recognizing and acknowledging all that you've done and how far you've come. Mm-hmm. If you don't follow bouncing ball, you're going to get super frustrated. You're going to get pissed off. You're going to get overwhelmed really fast. And if the bouncing ball is like the breadcrumb of do this next, now do that. And like, oh, no, here, your attention's needed here. It's going to feel like you just got dropped from like a 20-story building into a giant ball pit. Like, here's everything. Here's all your good and your bad and your crazy thoughts and your to-do lists and this and that and everything you want all into one. Sift through it. It's just the more that you tap in and be like, okay, all right, I am open, guide me, show me, and follow that path of your highest vibration. Gosh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful things are going to happen.
Yeah, for sure. Or if you're like me, there are times that I'm really resistant to following the bouncing ball because I just don't want to. And, we're human. These are things
that's
that
happen.
So it's just like, again, just be aware that that's the choice that you've made. So if things kind of start to go south because you're like, yeah, I'm not going to do that, or I'm not going to feel this way, or I'm not going to shift this, or I'm not going to work on that, and things start to fall apart, it is what it is. It's like, I think about when I have had my moments where I didn't want to follow the bouncing ball, or I didn't want to listen to the energies of the time or anything like that. And I saw my life shift in a path that I just didn't want. Mm-hmm. But I just watched it because I made choices. Where you make your choices, there are certain consequences. Yeah. So here I am feeling like I have no control. Bullshit. I've made a choice that has led me down this path, and just taking responsibility for that. That's the bottom line. If you're choosing not to entertain the energies, do the work, or anything like that, specifically in this coming month where the energies are going to be incredibly amplified, it is going to be what it's going to be for you.
Right. And if say the spirit dropped the yellow ball in front of you and you're like, ooh, shiny ball over here, and you have a squirrel moment, that's perfectly okay. This is never an opportunity to beat yourself up. Again, we are human, and no path is perfect, and you're going to miss some of the things, or you might go, oh, shiny ball, but I don't think that's where I'm supposed to be. That's just shiny ball, but you're going to walk somewhere in the middle and you're not going to see the yellow ball. That's okay too. The yellow ball will come back up. There's always opportunities for you to get back on track with your highest vibration. And there's always opportunities for you to fall off of it, because it wouldn't be the human experience. It wouldn't be fun. It would be boring AF if you stayed on the perfect frequency all the time.
Also, I'm getting there might be situations, people from your past coming, or kind of manifesting. It must be. It's. Let me tap in more. It feels like it's there to show you something different. Is there to engage you in a different way with the person's situation. So just be aware of that it's going to probably bring some stuff up just to see how you handle it, what you say, how you act,
right?
Things like that. Again, that's a gauge to see how far you've come.
Yeah, that's one of those opportunities where you can be like, all right, I'm going to meet this in my new highest sense of self that I have right now. And when you fall into some of those old things, like, oh, look at me going down that people-pleasing path. Oop, look at me going down that avoidant path. Look at me. Oh, look how human of me. Ha, ha, ha. Bringing myself back. Like, it's just it's an opportunity, like you said, to see how far you've come, but it's also an opportunity to fine tune. Like, okay, where do I easily fall into subconscious patterning? Where do I easily fall into old beliefs? Where do I easily fall into the things that I just say to my family or things I just say to my friends? Where do I easily fall into that? So I know that I can tweak it just a little bit more to make my path a lot more passionate, fruitful, and free. We all just want to be free and happy.
Exactly. I mean, and sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. You know, like yesterday, I didn't feel like doing anything. I mean, I'm in the middle of a pet sitting gig, and I'm present and I'm doing what I need to do, but I just didn't want to do anything else, you know, and I honored that. I needed that peace. I needed that space. I needed that pause, apparently. I don't know for what reason I needed it, but I did. And I'm sure that later down the line, it might show up as to why I needed it. But, you know, just allowing and honoring where you are is the best place to be, specifically now with these energies coming up, because it will give you a window to what's really happening, what you're really feeling, how you're really acting, and then giving you the opportunity to change it in whatever way serves you.
Right. And be patient with yourself, be patient with the situations. And the presence part is because the breadcrumbs might be coming in different ways than you're used to. Maybe you're used to just hearing the song on the radio, or somebody says the thing and you're like, oh yeah, that's that. Like, it feels like validation. This is listening more to your body. This is understanding what's just tracks in your mind and what is actually your real truth in this moment. This is ego acting up, and you're like, oh, you're trying to protect me. That means there's some level of fear I can work on. Awesome. Thanks, ego. You're the best. You're doing a great job. Like, this is how you interact with all the different parts of you so that you can come back into wholeness. That's always the ultimate goal, because you are whole right now. You just haven't recognized it because you've been trained to look at the broken parts.
Exactly. I mean, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about, the energies that are flowing through me and all that stuff. And I'm also have become aware that this week I've been sitting in a lot of emotions. Mm-hmm. Not sure why, but it's being amplified. It's making me aware. It's me saying, okay, why am I feeling this way? Why am I now feeling this other way about whatever situation is happening? And it's like, I'm just aware, and I'm getting curious, and I'm entertaining change. So yeah, that's the way the energies are working for me. So it may be the same for you. It may be completely different, but whatever the case is, it's just honor where you're at.
Right. Because being present doesn't mean you have to do anything.
Right.
It's like you said, just being aware how this stuff is coming through. You'll know when you need to do something or work on something. And, maybe it's just watching it flow through and honoring those feelings instead of like we used to bottle them up or freak out or whatever. It's just recognizing those shifts and patterns. So please take July as the opportunity it is, even if it feels like it's a holding pattern. No, it is for your best and highest path that's going on right now, and it's all unfolding perfectly. You are in the right place at the right time, and it's all perfect.
Awesome. Be sure to like and subscribe. Be kind.
Peace.